You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, folks. Hashtag we tried to tell you. Donald Trump acted a complete ass against North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, demanding that he green light the Republicans holding their convention in Charlotte, North Carolina in August. The governor said no because of coronavirus. So Trump says, we're leaving. They picked Jacksonville, Florida. Then what happened? Cases spiked in Florida. Now, idiot-in-chief had to announce this today.
This afternoon, my political team came to me and laid out our plans for the convention in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a place I love. I love that state. The drawings look absolutely beautiful. I never thought we could have something look so good so fast with everything going on. And everything was going well. A tremendous list of speakers, thousands of people wanting to be there, and I mean, in some cases, desperately be there. They wanted to attend, people making travel arrangements all over the country. They wanted to be there. The pageantry, the signs, the excitement were really, really top of the line. But I looked at my team and I said, the timing for this event is not right. It's just not right with what's happened recently, the flare-up in Florida. To have a big convention, it's not the right time. It's really something that, for me, I have to protect the American people. That's what I've always done. That's what I always will do. That's what I'm about. They said, sir, we can make this work very easily.
My pal, Dr. Greg Card, Chair, Department of Afro-American Studies, Howard University, Reese Colbert, Black Women's Views, Erica Savage-Wilson, host Savage Politics Podcast. This dumbass ain't fooling nobody, Dr. Card. All of a sudden, he didn't want to listen. He was so arrogant, and now he can't have his big parties. So it's like, sorry. And remember, they were just praising Ron DeSantis. They're doing a great job in Florida. And DeSantis wagging his finger at the media. Now cases are spiking left and right. The Jacksonville sheriff announced, I don't even have the people to protect folks at a convention. Now it's not going to happen. Oh.
Roland, I tell you, man, I'm glad, one of our coping mechanisms is humor, and we have to cope. Donald Trump's coping mechanism in this pandemic is denial. And he is clearly not well. He's clearly mentally ill. He's deteriorating before our eyes. He's gone back before the cameras now with his daily briefings, with his breathless, sing-songy, out-of-breath moments. And he went from Charlotte to Jacksonville to oblivion. He's trailing Joe Biden by 13 points in Florida, and of course we know there's a Trump effect. There's some liars in that poll, but even the liars can't make that gap up. So we'll see. As Donald Trump might say, we'll see what happens.
Well, I just think it's hilarious. Erica, to sit here and watch this idiot stand there. This is on his watch. Coronavirus has exploded because this idiot sat there and mocked Joe Biden and others for wearing masks, did not lead when it comes to testing, praised Ron DeSantis back in May. Then all of a sudden, and anybody who understands coronavirus, your numbers don't kick in for at least 6 to 8 weeks when they reopen the state. Same thing in Texas. Greg Abbott, those idiot Republicans in Texas were fighting with Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner to have their state convention. And then when he announced it ain't going to happen at the George Brown Convention Center, they sued him, and a judge said, nope, you can't do it. No state conference. These Republicans are the ones who are leading these people to ignore mask mandates, to fight against the proper way to social distance, and now egg on this idiot's face after all the trash talking he did against North Carolina and his Democratic Governor Roy Cooper.
Right, Roland, and I'm so glad that you ran us through all of those failed leadership moments, because these are the things that we're going to have to continue to keep before the American people, because we've seen that specifically in a political climate that moments sometimes have very short-lived histories. And so for people to understand that this is a mediocre person who would send children back to school with the certainty of death, to understand that this is a person who is sending federal agents to cities that are largely Black and brown bodies, that this, again, is another example of how he's weaponizing the current office that he's in right now. And I'm glad that you brought in the Republicans, because the obsequience of the Republicans has to be put before voters' face every day. It would be funny, but for the fact we have 147,000 people that have passed away due to coronavirus, and that we are nearing 4 million confirmed cases in the U.S. and being banned from several countries, specifically the European Union. So I think as those pieces collectively come together, that this is what voters and potential voters need to be reminded of every day, what's really on the ballot.
And look, Reese, they're getting exactly what they deserve. We have had an abdication of leadership by Donald Trump and his imps in his administration. They have attacked Dr. Anthony Fauci. They have attacked Joe Biden. They have attacked Governor Andrew Cuomo. They have attacked so many people, and 140,000 people are dead. We're seeing record cases every single day. And then they're just touting, oh, we're doing a great job. And the polls are disagreeing with them left and right, because people are seeing what happens when you do not know how to lead.
Yeah, and I think that this is really a survival tactic for Donald Trump, because he's seeing these polling numbers out of Florida and they look really bad. So it's probably a good idea to not infect, to potentially kill off a large part of your base down in Florida. And so I think that this is all about his self-interest. It's not about putting the American public first. And I think it's him trying to walk back in the most minor way, this hole that he's dug himself into. Unfortunately, he has so many people that have bought into his propaganda and his delusions that it's going to be a lot harder to put this jack back in the box and get people on board with what we need, which is at least 95% of the country wearing masks at all times and social distancing.
Well, again, I want people out there to understand that coronavirus, I saw this tweet, Greg, and it said it best. Coronavirus is Trump's Vietnam.
I don't know, Roland. The reason I'm hesitating is because, as you said in earlier shows, Trump is trying to execute a variation of the 1968 Nixon playbook. He's running a complete white nationalist party campaign now. In fact, they should just stop saying GOP and call it WNP. They are the white nationalists. And, this far out from November, with the post office clearly taking hits every day. I don't know if you've noticed the mail being slower and less reliable. With the attack against mail-in voting, there's really no way to predict, particularly as this thing fractures into states and localities, and even in places like Georgia, where the Delta's mounted a big mask-up campaign today. The governor of Georgia is still attacking the mayor of Atlanta. It's hard to say this far out, Roland. It's certainly going to be a quagmire, but they are banking on the fact that they can shrink the electorate enough to be able to rally their white nationalist base and somehow steal this election one more time. It seems like, as Reese said, this is their full-blown strategy now.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.